Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu. Welcome to class 8 students. Students, I have a question for you all. In olden days, if you would have watched the kings and queens going out on a journey, so how did they go? By cars, bikes? Is it? No. King was always on the elephant and the queen was in what? Ma'am, they'll carry on their shoulders and go. Is it? Yes, this is what you'll tell. What is that particular thing called as in which the queen will sit? It's called as palanquin, right? So, we will learn a poem about palanquin bearers. This means the ones who are carrying the palanquin are expressing what they feel when they carry a girl who becomes a bride and sits in the palanquin. So, before we read the poem and understand it, let's learn more about the poetess. So, it is composed by Sarojini Naidu. Do you get anything to your mind when you listen about Sarojini Naidu? Yes, what is that? She's called the Nightingale of India, right? Yes. She is well known as Nightingale of India, and she is also famous English poetess. She was a political activist and played on an active role in the freedom movement. So this means she was also a freedom fighter. She was the first woman to become the governor of an Indian state after independence. See how women has how women has started to acquire higher positions day by day. It is from those days only that Sarojini Naidu was the very first Indian woman to become the governor for Indian state. Some of her major contributions are the broken wing, the bird of time, the golden threshold, etc. So these are her literary works, what is written here. She has written the broken wing, the bird of time, the golden threshold. And here, one among them is palanquin bearer. So let's see what is there. Children, this poem is for memorization. You just have 3 stanzas which are having very common words and they are also rhyming. Read, enjoy and understand them. Lightly, oh lightly, we bear her along. She sways like a flower in the wind of our song. She skims like a bird on the foam of a stream. She floats like a laugh from the lips of a dream. Gaily, oh gaily, we glide and we sing. We bear her along like a pearl on a string. Softly, oh softly, we bear her along. She hangs like a star in the dew of her song. She springs like a beam on the brow of the tide. She falls like a tear from the eyes of a bride. Lightly, oh lightly, we glide and we sing. We bear her along like a pearl on a string. So now, students, see when you sit in a palanquin, when the bearers are carrying the palanquin and walking, it's like you're swinging in a swing, right? But it doesn't go to and fro, front and back. Rather, it moves from left to right because they walk further and we are inside it. So we always move like a swing from right to left, left to right. So here they are telling, lightly, oh lightly, we bear her along. The bearers are telling that she's not heavy, she's very light. We bear her because she's light on our shoulders. She sways like a flower in the wind of our song. See, I think when the wind's blowing and when you go to the sunflower fields, you can see how the flower moves from left to right and right to left and so on. So the palanquin bearer is also telling that when the girl becomes, when a girl becomes a bride and she sits in the palanquin, she moves like a flower in the wind. So she's compared to a flower also. She skims like a bird on the foam of a stream. See, skims in the sense moving on the top surface of water. So there are water birds like swan and all who just skims on the top, right? Floats on the top surface. So they're telling like the girl inside the palanquin, the bride inside the palanquin is skimming like birds on surface of the stream. Understanding, she's compared to flower which is swaying in the wind, moving, And she's compared to a bird who skims on the foam of the stream. And finally, she floats like a laugh from the lips of a dream. So they are also comparing her like a dream come true. She's floating like laugh. This means that when we laugh, it is for sure. When we laugh, it is for sure like it's like the dream come true. Understood? See, students, these days we all prefer sitting in big cars. I mean costly cars, posh cars, right? BMW, Benz, Ferrari, and so on. But those days, to sit in a palanquin was such a privileged act. Nowadays, we don't find that, right? It's because we all have civilized, and we are getting adopted to the modern world. We are actually leaving our cultures and traditions behind and moving with the modern trend. Right? Yes. So here, that is why Sarojini Naidu wants to show the beauty of those days also. So she's composed a poem where she's comparing the bride in the palanquin as swaying flower, skimming bird, and floating laugh. Understanding? Yes. So here, gaily, oh gaily, we glide and we sing. So the bearers are telling, gaily. Gaily stands for happily. We are happily gliding, we are happily moving, and we are singing. They are talking about a scenery wherein they are walking through a place, there is a greenery around them, and the ways are not clear, soft enough. It's ups and downs. So when they're walking, they feel that the palanquin is moving from left to right, and so they are also telling they are happily carrying and moving and singing the songs along with it. We bear her along like a pearl on a string. See, the bride who is sitting, the girl who is sitting in the palanquin is compared to a single pearl on a string. When you take a string and put a pearl in it and move the pearl from left to right, what happens? It keeps moving slowly, right? So that is how they've compared the bride in the palanquin. Softly, oh softly we bear her along. She hangs like a star in the dew of our song. So the bearers are telling that we carry her, we bear her softly. This means we ensure that when walking, we do not walk with high speed, slowly. And they are also telling that she's like a drop. She hangs like a star in the dew of her song. She is compared to a star in one water drop. Right? When you see the drops of water falling, you can find they are shining also. At times it's glittery and it looks like stars. So that is what they're trying to tell us. The bearers are telling that we carry her softly and we are happy to carry. We feel it as a privilege to carry a bride in the palanquin. And they're comparing her to a pearl and to a star. See look at the level of comparison. What a prestige it is. Yes. She springs like a beam on the brow of the tide. She falls like a tear from the eyes of a bride. So here the poetess is again telling us that she springs like a beam on the brow of the tide. What do you understand by springs? She moves suddenly. What happens? You tell me what happens when there's a wave in water. It'll come slowly. It'll come at any speed, hit the land and go back, right? So here they're telling the girl moves suddenly like a ray of light on the top of waters. See, the sun rays when they fall on water, what happens? The water moves slowly, right? And we feel that the rays of light is also moving along with the water. That's our imagination, right? Have you all imagined? Yes. So the poetess is telling that she is moving like the rays of light on the water. She falls like a tear from the eyes of a bride. When the way is not proper, if there's a small pit, and they by mistake walk on it, what happens? The palanquin also will move. It seems to be like it's falling. So they are telling like when that happens, it's like a tear falling from the eyes of a bride. Again they are comparing the bride to the tear falling from her eyes. Lightly, oh lightly we glide and we sing. Again we feel it's not heavy for us. We are happy to carry. We glide, we move move and we sing. We bear her along like a pearl on a string. Again, the poetess is telling that the bearers are telling like she's like a pearl, she's very precious. And it's like only one pearl on a string which is moving from one side to the other side. Understood? Yes. So this poem is for memorization. Memorize all 3 stanzas and learn the meanings. Thank you.